What's up, guys? It's Patricia from TarantulaHeaven.com, and today we're going to talk about why tarantulas are the masters of Hygge. And if you don't know what Hygge means, I'm going to explain it to you in a second, but the reason I wanted to make this video was because one of my favorite things about tarantulas is kind of talking about their weird habits and like the things that most people don't know that they do if they're not observing them or familiar with them. And I often talk about how nerdy and strange tarantulas are and like all their strange habits that they have. So this really goes along with that. It has to do with their living habits. If you spent any amount of time with a tarantula or observe them, you know that they are far from the bloodthirsty creatures that the internet and movies make them out to be. When you really get to know a tarantula, they're actually just really weird introverts. And I think that's why I identify with them so much. If you're new to the channel, I put out weird spider videos, tarantula facts, crazy observations that I've seen my tarantulas. So if you are into that, I put out videos every single Tuesday on Tarantula Tuesday, and you can subscribe if that interests you. So first, let's talk about Hygge. Hygge is a Danish lifestyle trend, and it's pretty much the term we use for Scandinavian coziness and that kind of design. It's about being cozy and comfortable and taking in life's little pleasures, which I think my spiders do a lot. You may not be able to tell from my strange background now that we're in the bedroom for the winter with the spiders, but I am really into interior design and home decor. So this all started with me purchasing the book, The Little Book of Hygge, Danish Secrets to Happy Living. This is a book that focuses all about making your space cozy and lovable and livable and creating a happy place at home. And as I was going through this book, I'll leave a link in the description because it is a really awesome book. I really took in the advice of making your home just right. And it's all about like staying indoors, making your space perfect, being more introverted than extroverted. And I eventually started making the connection between Hygge and my tarantulas and their behavior. My tarantulas, Spidey right over here, Grammostola rosea, and Blinky right here, who is an Arizona blonde sling, very hard to see right now. They spend way too much time, in my opinion, but they spend so much time making their space just right. Whether it's spending hours pushing their dirt around or throwing it in the water dish, making elaborate tunnels like Blinky, or webbing up her entire enclosure like Spidey. My tarantulas are really particular about their space, and they don't like for it to be disturbed. So I really try not to mess with any of their decor or their little projects because I know that they're not going to be very happy about it. And if you have a tarantula, maybe you've noticed this too. If you ever want to stress your tarantula out, put in some new decor, clean their tank, rearrange something. Spidey hates this, and she will throw a tantrum whenever I clean the tank because she doesn't want to touch the new substrate, perhaps because it doesn't have her little web carpet on it or she hasn't patted it down enough, but she does not like it. And I've noticed that Blinky, at least, will get really obsessed with digging little tunnels, and once they've made a good one, they will stay in there all the time. So Blinky is a little bit young to tell, although they do have that tunneling behavior. But Spidey, who is an adult, has some very particular habits that align with Hygge. Posted this on Tumblr a lot before, but Spidey is pretty much like a cat. She likes to sit in things, whether it's her water dish, whether it's a jar lid, whether it's her little glass house. She is obsessed with the feeling of being enclosed, enveloped, and cozy. Sometimes she'll even throw dirt inside the water dish so that it dries out and she can lay in there. Unfortunately, Blinky must have noticed this habit because a few months ago I saw Blinky adopting this very behavior. So I guess Spidey shared that little secret with him. In the past, Spidey has even thrown, I'd given her a little teacup, and Spidey spent an entire night or entire day putting dirt in the teacup so that she could lay in it all night. So if that is not Hygge, I don't know what is. I think that tarantulas really enjoy the feeling of being protected and like a little bit isolated. So I think that when we think about the concept of Hygge, that describes tarantula behavior perfectly and the way that they view their enclosures. It's no secret that tarantulas love dark, warm, and small spaces. If you have a ground-dwelling tarantula, you might notice that they spend a lot of time in their hide, in their burrow or in a log. And arboreal tarantulas are pretty much the same as well in their own way. Even tarantulas that really enjoy being on display will still spend a lot of time and energy on kind of making their homes perfect and comfortable for themselves. There are many tarantulas that will spend hours and hours and hours webbing their enclosure just right. And I don't know about your tarantulas, but mine are constantly remodeling their space as well. Spidey continuously works on this web carpet, and she will also go through phases where she's digging a lot and moving things around, whether it's her toys like her ping pong ball, or she's moving piles of dirt around. And Blanket can be like that with their tunneling systems. When they want to make something, they will just spend hours moving dirt around and digging and doing weird stuff. So do your tarantulas do things like this? Are they extremely particular about their space? Do they have their way of doing things and think nothing of ruining your hard enclosure design work when it's not to their liking? Because mine certainly are. And I'm getting kind of nervous because I'll soon be redoing Spidey's tank and redesigning it. And I have a feeling that whatever I do, regardless of how much energy and time I spend on it, it's not going to last very long. So let me know in the comments if this resonated with you and your tarantulas and what you think of Hygge and if you had even known about Hygge. But if you didn't, now you know. And I do recommend that book for anybody who's interested in beautifying their space. It was a very interesting read. And if you're not familiar with tarantulas, perhaps this video showed you a little bit about the secret lives that they lead and being their own little interior designers and construction workers. They're little architects. Tarantulas love being in their homes, much like me and other fellow introverts. And the great thing about having a tarantula is that we get to enjoy looking at them and enjoying their creations, even when it means they have to ruin our own. So what cozy habits do your tarantulas have? Definitely share in the comments, because I think that this particular channel is really geared toward beginners, and so I love being able to show new tarantula owners or wannabe tarantula owners that these are the kind of things that you can expect from getting a tarantula. It's not just about feedings and care and things like that. It's really about getting into these little details, and the joys of having a tarantula is that there's actually a lot of really weird, funny stuff that goes with it. Anyway, guys, I hope you found that useful or interesting, and I hope you enjoyed all the pictures that I provided of Spidey and Blinky's weird behavior and creations. If you liked it, please subscribe. I put out videos like this and other tarantula facts and observations every single Tuesday. And I also do have a Patreon that you could sign up for a subscription to my digital tarantula magazine and early access to my YouTube videos. And you can also join my tarantula group on Facebook, which I will put in the description below. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.